What's up, everybody? It's HBT with the Straight Up Wrestling Show, man, and I am here, sitting here right now, just waiting for my nephew to get off the bus, man. So, guys, I decided to come on live, do a little bit of live while I'm out. And hey, because Chris and I, we have not been on in a little bit, so I definitely decided to do that. Oh wow, man, I got something over here in the corner, but that's okay, man. Talking about, I have Aftershock over there in the corner. That was something that Chris and I went to this weekend, but that's okay. That's just, hey, it is what it is. And that was a great show, man. Outstanding show. So, man, hey, I'm coming on doing the Dropkicks and Body Slams episode. This episode 12. And wow, guys, Chris and I, man, we're pretty much out of the loop. And sometimes, very rarely, that happens. As far as what's happening in professional wrestling with AEW, WWE, we definitely out of the loop because Friday night, man, we had a show Friday night, Danny Paris Memorial Cup. So that was first show, Danny Paris Memorial Cup. The guy that Chris and I used to commentate with, who passed away a couple months ago. So man, we was there doing that show. Definitely had to do that show on Saturday night. We was over at 3 Count Pro Wrestling in Greenville, South Carolina, doing that show. So Chris and I pretty much is out of the loop, man, with what's going on with WWE and AEW. We did not get the AEW, the huge AEW All-In show from Wembley. We did not get that. We're thinking about getting that maybe today or tomorrow, and maybe watching that, or probably do the pay-per-view this weekend or whatever, and basically catch up, over these next couple days. But we will be on tonight. For AEW Dynamite, guys. We will be rocking that thing out, and we'll see what happens tonight. Jade Cargill's supposed to come back. All right, Facebook user, what's up, Mooney and Chris from Japan? All right, my man Wayne Cochran. Wayne Cochran is in the house. My man Wayne calling me by my old nickname, calling me by my nicknames. I'm an old nickname, still my nickname. But what's up, Wayne, man? Love my brother all the way out there from Japan. All right. So, but yeah, man, right now, we just rocking this thing out. Like I said, tonight we will be on for Dynamite. And hey, I'm waiting for my nephew, and I think that might be his bus coming up now. Maybe they got to go around or whatever, but they'll be here in just a moment. But I'm gonna stay on here for a little while and talk to you guys, man. Like I said, Jade Cargill's supposed to come back tonight. I don't know if she is or not. I see that. Let's see, Sasha Banks. I forgot what she calls herself now. Goodness sake, man, Monet or something like that. But yeah, she was at the All-In show, and hey, that's huge. I don't know if she's gonna join up with AEW or not. Maybe she is. We know CM Punk. CM Punk supposedly got into it again. He's gotten into it this time with Jack Perry. Supposedly he choked him out. So we'll see what happens there, man. He supposedly choked him out, and both of those guys are suspended. And this thing been going on for a few weeks, so it looked like he's doing his old thing. CM Punk is still out here being a little toxic or whatever. I have no clue, man. I don't. Some people say it's a work or whatever, but that's one thing that they don't need. That's one thing that AEW do not need to be doing. They don't need to be serving up no works or anything when it comes to CM Punk. They can use somebody else as far as doing a work or whatever. They don't need to use CM Punk because that whole thing needs to get in order, guys. It really do. Because this last time this thing happened, when something happened and that from that media scrum and that big fight between all those guys, man, that right there wasn't a work. A lot of people thought it was a work or whatever. It definitely wasn't a work. CM Punk needs to come in and pretty much, be involved in wrestling, do things that happen in wrestling, and pretty much get along in the locker room. He's older than a lot of these guys, so he should be a leader. But hey, being a leader sometimes, man, you have to try to get along with people, man. If you're a leader, get along with people. I'm not saying that you have to bow to anybody or, it makes lose respect by not being who you are, by not being the top guy or being a top personality, somebody that knows what they're doing. That's not what it's saying. It's not saying that let these other guys take over and be ahead of you and try to tell you what to do. That's not it. Being a leader is, basically knowing how to talk to people and say, hey, learn from me, learn from the things that I went through and things like that. And I mean, this guy, he has a legacy, man. He's been in the business for a long time. He was in the business for a long time before he left, and then he came back. But he was in the business for a long time, and he achieved a lot of things. So that right there should be able to take him. That should take him to another level with everybody, man. That's coming through in the locker room and everything like that. So he should not have to do the things that he's doing. I don't know what in the world it is, but this man is a 40-something-year-old man. He's a little bit over 40. He shouldn't be acting that way, man. But like I say, guys, basically getting back into this thing, trying to get back into it this week, and especially next week, going to be on it hard. But Chris and I, we have been approached to go to a couple indie shows. Well, we got a huge indie show down in Atlanta, Georgia, September the 9th. I don't know if we're going to actually go to this one. I'm not going to make any promises. It's Deep South Wrestling, September the 9th. It's supposed to be a huge show. They're going to have Eric Bischoff there. They're going to have Teddy Long there. They're going to have Robert Gibson there from the Rock and Roll Express, and supposed to be many other, former past stars supposed to be at this show. So we was asked to come out and, do some, come out there and do some podcasting and talk to some people. I don't know if we're actually going to do that one or not. Right now, we're still debating. This weekend, Saturday, this weekend, Chris and I will be doing something. I don't know if we're going to stay home, watch Collision, or, stay home, do AEW Collision, or we're going to be out doing a show. Most likely, if we will be doing Pro Wrestling Union. The last time we went was great. Chris and I we never did get back to report on that. And I think that's something that we're going to go ahead and do. I definitely want to do that because they put together a great show. So I would like to go this weekend, maybe to Pro Wrestling Union. If not, we probably be over at APW or something like that. I'm not sure. If we don't stay home and do something, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. Can't make any promises, man. But definitely look forward to the weekend and getting some wrestling in this weekend. And man, what has a lot of things that has slowed me down too is because I've been pretty much producing. I'm back producing music. So I've been producing this young artist, 13-year-old artist. So I'm definitely involved in that, man. I'm involved in that heavy right now. So trying to get that done so we can get his EP on out. And but yeah, don't want to neglect wrestling, man. Definitely don't want to neglect wrestling because hey, the show must go on, man. The Straight Up Wrestling show must go on. But hey, guys, and we just came off of last week, couple tragic stories. My man Terry Funk passed away, and then we had Bray Wyatt passed away, and the world really felt that, especially with those two basically falling away from us back to back. Everybody, a lot of people out here felt that, man. But wow, sorry about that, guys. But hey, speaking of Terry Funk, man, let me talk about Terry Funk a little bit and some of the things that I remember, man. As far as Terry Funk, I love, like I already said, I love the Terry Funk from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I didn't see him in the 60s because I wasn't, I was born in the 60s, but I was too little to know anything about the 60s. By the time the 60s was in it, I was about 3 years old. So I did watch him in the 70s, though, man. So I definitely got to see him in the 70s. Incredible specimen, incredible wrestler. This guy, along with his brother Dory Funk, this guy caused mayhem, and he was always hardcore. He was always a hardcore wrestler, hard in the ring. Did a lot of amazing things. But he wasn't the ECW wrestler that pretty much was just fighting in barbed wire and doing all that crazy stuff. He wasn't doing that, but he did have a lot of hardcore matches back then with Dusty Rhodes, with the bull rope matches and things like that. So he's always been like that, man. And I love that version of Terry Funk, two-time NWA world champion. And I'm talking about when it was very, very hard to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Very hard. Really, to win a lot of the regional championships, being the top guy in the region of whatever region you was in, rather it was Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Georgia Championship Wrestling, out in St. Louis, or even, the Memphis area, UWF, any of those old territories, Continental, world-class championship wrestling out of Texas. It was very hard to be the champion, WWF, WWF or the WWF in New York, AWA, Vern Gagne's territory out in Minnesota, out in the Midwest. Very hard to win those titles and be the world champion or to be their main champion. It was very hard to do. The Missouri Heavyweight Championship, it was hard to be that champion, man, out there. So those things man, was very hard to do. And like I said, Terry Funk will go into territories and usually always win the main belt or the second main belt there. And even winning like a TV title in those days was very hard. So, man, I definitely respect Terry Funk as one of the best, of all time. He's definitely, in my opinion, he's definitely top 15. I'm not going to call him the GOAT like a lot of people out here is calling him the GOAT. Maybe they're calling him the GOAT of hardcore wrestling or whatever, mayhem or whatever. But as far as I'm looking at his overall body of work of wrestling, and this is basically because of the 70s and the 80s, I will put him in the top 15 easily, man. Great wrestler, but hey, we lost him. And then we have Bray Wyatt, man. Hey, I definitely have respect for the Wyatt Wyndham family. Barry Windham, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Even Mike Rotunda. I know a lot of people say, and a lot of people on here might remember him as Ern R. Shyster. And what else did he do? Michael Wall Street. And then he, like I said, went from that Michael Wall Street to Ern R. Shyster. And he was tag team partners with Barry Windham over in the WWE and things like that. But, this guy was an incredible wrestler when he was in the NWA with Mid-Atlantic and Jim Crockett Promotions. This guy was an incredible wrestler. I definitely have a lot of respect for Bray Wyatt's daddy, Mike Rotunda. And Bray Wyatt, who's a very good wrestler himself. They did have a great gimmick for him, and it looked like they was going to take that gimmick and it's going to be basically try to get it to where the Undertaker was at, and they probably could have succeeded, got very close to what was going on, but it didn't happen. But hey, rest in peace to both of those guys, man. So wow. But yeah, so definitely, man, like I said, I'm here right now, man. If anybody come through, and I know a lot of people wait until the night, you might not see this, and you're probably going to see it a little bit later. But I'm definitely happy for the ones who are coming in. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. But Straight Up Wrestling Show will be in the house tonight, guys. So give me just a moment, man. I got to get that thing off over here in the corner. Give me just a second. Let's see if I can do that. But yeah, I'm still here, guys. Yeah, my nephew should have been here by now. Still haven't got here. Beginning to trip me out, man. I don't know where in the world that background Chris done put it at. Chris ended up putting that background there. But okay. Yeah, these are things that we had last week. Okay. So wow, I can't even get that out of there. So I don't know what in the world Chris did there, but that's okay. But yeah, that was the show. Okay, I see where it's at. But yeah, that was the show that Chris and I was at this past weekend, guys. This past weekend. But man, yeah, so hey, definitely join us tonight, guys. We're gonna be rocking this thing out, man. We're gonna have fun tonight with AEW Dynamite. And like I say, Jade Cargill comes back, and a lot of drama, but hey, a huge crowd, man. Huge crowd over there in Wembley Stadium. I don't know exactly how many was there. They say it was 81,000. They said it could have been upwards to 90,000. I'm not sure. But hey, that was a great crowd. And hopefully Tony Khan can pick up his crowds here. And domestically, we hope AEW can start having bigger crowds here too. So, but I heard it was a successful show. I don't know when I'm going to get to see it or if I'm going to watch it or not. And, to be honest with you, to tell you the truth, because I definitely have to order it. And then you have that one this weekend. So, they will be showing that at Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's, like I said, this weekend, Dave and Buster's are going to have the Sandman ECW reunion. They're going to have Sandman there, Tommy Rich, Todd Gordon will be there, and some other guys, man, who used to wrestle and was involved with ECW. So ECW has a thing coming at Dave and Buster's in Greenville, South Carolina, and they would like for us to come down. I don't know if we're going to go there or not. And they're supposed to be doing some things, signing some autographs, maybe doing some talking with some fans, and then everybody going to sit down and watch the pay-per-view together. So, I don't know if we'll be able to podcast from there or whatever. So it really won't benefit us if we can't podcast. I would hate to go there and we can't put together a podcast, man. I definitely don't want to do that. So most likely, no flipping way, man. I don't plan on doing that. But yeah, still waiting. I can't believe that it's done took this long, but I'm still waiting for my nephew to get here, man. And then after I get him, I got to run over to my daughter's house real quick, get some food, get on back, and maybe get him back home to his mom, and then get back and do AEW Dynamite. We need to call Chris in a little while, and Chris was doing something when I called him, but Chris definitely need to be on tonight, man. We're gonna rock the AEW Dynamite tonight, and probably come on tomorrow and talk about some things too tomorrow. Straight up. All right, but man, yeah. So yeah, like I said, man, we don't know a whole bunch going on, and I wonder what's going on in the minds of Dax and Cash, because Dax and Cash, those guys stuck their necks out for CM Punk. And you got to look at a lot of things and say, okay, man, is this the way you repay me? I don't know. I do not know how those guys are feeling about it, but I know how I will be feeling about it. I will be feeling a certain way, guys, straight up. That's just me, man. I will be feeling a certain way about it. I say, hey, look, this is what we done for you guys, man. This is what we done for you, man. And you come back to us like this. But hey, that's the way the ball bounces sometimes, guys. But wow. But yeah, wrestling, this week, it's been very, very exciting, very exciting. And, as far as the biggest crowd in wrestling ever, we know the biggest crowd in wrestling ever was that WCW thing when they went over to North Korea. That was the biggest crowd ever, but I think those people were made to come out there. Wasn't the biggest paid crowd. They definitely didn't get paid. I don't know what in the world they got paid, but that was huge. But once again, man, straight up, okay, congratulations to Tony Khan and AEW for putting on an amazing show. And I'm not really going to say it was an amazing show. Everybody say it was a good show, but amazing show as far as the fans coming out to support AEW. And man, that's what's up. That right there is you can't get no better than that. You can't ask for no more than that. You can't get no better than that. But man, let me just talk about something that, whew, man, memories of wrestling, growing up. And right now, let me think of something that's, my first memory of wrestling, man. First, thing that really got me involved. Now, the first people that I really saw in wrestling was George Sandy Scott, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, because this was early 70s. Guy named Brute Bernard. I love Brute Bernard because that's my middle name, Bernard, and that's what my grandma called me, and had everybody else in the family calling me, except for my mom. My mom would call me Harry, and then she finally started calling me Bernard a little bit later on in life. But Brute Bernard, love Brute Bernard, man. This guy right here, I thought he was a psycho, a psych patient, psycho patient or something like that, going around the ring, walking around the ring and yeesh, doing that little move and stuff like that. But yeah, he would do, have two arms going and get that head going. Brute Bernard, man, love Brute Bernard. Got to the point where I love Brute Bernard. But man, the first thing that really grabbed my attention and held on to me for wrestling, and it really got me into wrestling, was Chief Wahoo McDaniel when he took on Dean Malenko's daddy, Joe Malenko. I think it's Joe Malenko they called him, or maybe it was the Great Mephisto. And man, chopped the man in the chest, chopped him in the mouth, and knocked his teeth out. His teeth just came flying all out of the ring. All out, and dropped on the mat. And I was just like, and man, it had me right then. That was in 1975. 1975, I was 8 years old. But like I said, I had been watching wrestling for a few years before that, because my older brother, that's all he used to do. He would watch wrestling every Saturday, and I was right there with him. And, and I saw all the guys before Wahoo McDaniel and, Johnny Valentine and all these guys that was coming up, and really didn't care about it. But yeah, so I really got into it at that point. My man Facebook user says, "Sup, bud?" That might be Brian Bullet right there. Sound like something that Brian Bullet would say or whatever. But if that's you, Brian, man, say yes, that's me. Because like I say, what I'm getting right now is just saying Facebook user, but I'm thinking that might be Brian Bullet. But what's up to everybody on Facebook, man, that's hitting me up right now. Definitely appreciate that 100%. But yeah, Wahoo McDaniel knocking the great Mephisto's teeth out, or was it Dean Malenko's dad, Joe Malenko? It was one of those two. I think it was a great Mephisto. I'm pretty sure it was. All right, that's right, the real deal, Brian Bullet. Yep, that's him. All right, my man Brian Bullet is in the house. I appreciate that. And then after that, man, I remember the Anderson brothers. Those guys right there was very intriguing. Ole and Gene Anderson, still to this day, in my opinion, the greatest tag team that ever laced up the boots, man. And I'm not just saying that because I grew up watching them back when I was a kid, because I saw a lot of amazing tag teams come along throughout the years. Only tag team I can really say, and this is because this tag team stood up to them, and they finally took care of the Anderson brothers, and pretty much, in my opinion, pretty much took them out and finished those guys off as a tag team in wrestling. That was Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. That was a outstanding tag team, man. Those guys was great. So it's, I got Anderson brothers number one. Then I got Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. And Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, when it boils down to it, those two guys, man, they definitely, Jay Youngblood, rest in peace. Of course he's gone, but those two right there, they definitely have a claim on maybe being the best tag team ever. Jay Youngblood and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was great. Well, he wasn't called Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at that time. He was just called Ricky Steamboat. But that was an outstanding tag team. AJ Skills, what's up, man? What's going on, AJ? Appreciate you joining, man. And but yeah, that was a great tag team. But those Anderson brothers, I saw those guys work on so many people's arms, break people's arms in the ring, sprain their arms, do whatever it takes. And I never forget Ole Anderson's, his scathing interviews, man, his segments, get up and do those interviews used to scare the crap out of me and scared anybody else that he pretty much used to talk to, because Ole Anderson would get on TV every single week and talk about, and pretty much tell the crowd and tell everybody out there, if you think you can come out here and beat the Anderson brothers, he said, I know a lot of men are sitting at home on their couch and everything. They telling their wives, they telling their sisters, they telling their moms and stuff like that. Oh, we can beat those Anderson brothers. Just come on out, man. I mean, this guy I was just like, man, he means business. He means business. Those guys were great with their promos, especially Ole, and what they did in the ring, very convincing, and you believe every single moment of it. Those guys was great, man. They was great. And the first team I really saw stand up to him, Ricky Steamboat had another partner at Chief Wahoo McDaniel. He was devastating. Great wrestler, man. I mean, great wrestler, great tag team. Chief Wahoo McDaniel and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'll never forget those two together. But man, it was outstanding. It was outstanding. But give me just a moment, guys. I got friend of mine just now pulled up, but I see more people coming in, but just a second. But yeah, still waiting on my nephew. Hey, come on over here, Kaylee. Come here for a second. Okay. All right, got my niece coming out, guys. If y'all know, like, say what's going on to the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Y'all remember that the interview every time we come on and she says, welcome to the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Kaylee, yeah. All right. But yeah, AJ, we doing AEW tonight, man.
Hey, AJ.
She says, hey, AJ. All right. But yeah. Hello, Lisa. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, I guess. Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later, okay? But I just take him as soon as he come out. All right. Thanks. All right. But yeah, we definitely doing that. The Nightmares, baby. Okay, Facebook user, the Nightmares, baby. Oh, man, is this... Okay, Facebook user, is this Scott Larson, man? Is that Scott Larson? He always talking about the Nightmares, man. Then, Danny Davis. Goodness sake, I can't even think of the other partner's name right now. I'm so caught up. But, yeah, always talking about the Nightmares, man. They definitely a good team. Very good team. And one of the top teams. I will say one of the top teams, even though they was more regional, they was one of the top teams ever. When it boils down to it, like I said, I got those Anderson brothers, then I got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. After that, I have the Steiner brothers, man. The Steiners was devastating, man. Those guys were killers. And if they would have stayed together 2 or 3 more years and continued to do what they was doing, I definitely would say they're the number 1 tag team ever in the world of wrestling. Ever. And I know people, Ray Underwood, what's up, man? Ray Underwood is in the house. I know people are sitting there saying the Road Warriors, man, the Road Warriors. I know people doing that. I know it. But the Road Warriors wasn't the best tag team ever. They was not. Maybe the most intimidating, I will say the most intimidating tag team ever was the Road Warriors. They had, they just had it. They scared the living daylights out of everybody. Only people that really can come close to them, maybe Nikita Koloff, the Koloffs or whatever. All righty. Love you too, sweetie. All right, but the Koloffs, they probably come close to him. As far as Nikita, he was so intimidating when he came out, and it made Ivan look even more sinister. So, maybe the Koloffs I can put up there with the Road Warriors, but the Road Warriors, I'm gonna have to say number 4. I'm gonna put them behind the Steiners, man. Actuality, man, I might put the Midnight Express behind the Steiners, number 4. Then I'll go with the Road Warriors at number 5. Number 6. All right. AJ Scales, Harry Page is the new AEW champion. I've seen that, man. She's the new AEW world champion. Congratulations to Paige. Never thought I'll see anything like that again. But hey, congratulations to Paige, and hopefully she's able to, stay safe in the ring and be healthy and have a nice title reign. That's what we're hoping here. So I'm 100% behind her, man. And hey, I'm not gonna sit here and say she deserve it or whatever. I'm not gonna say, but I'm not gonna say she don't deserve it. But yeah, straight up, hey, I'm happy for her. Definitely happy for AJ. All right, man. So yeah, I was sitting there running down these tag teams. So let me go ahead and go with the Road Warriors. I think at number 5, and then at number 6, man, I'm gonna throw the Rock and Roll Express in there. Rock and Roll Express, great tag team. Very fast, very quick, still rolling today, man. Still doing their thing today. All right, Ray, what do you think about Punk's bullshit? BS, man. This dude here, yeah, I'll talk about that earlier, man. This guy right here, woo, man. I tell you, all I can really say, look, Cash and Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they stuck up for this guy. They stuck his, Dax, especially Dax, put his neck out for this guy. And he have to be totally embarrassed. I mean, for this, this 40-something-year-old man to be acting like a child. I don't care what in the world, Jungle Boy said to him or whatever. But hey, be the adult. Jungle Boy is an adult too, but be the adult. You 40-something years old. This guy in his late 20s or whatever. Be the adult, man. Hey, and he's been in his business long enough, and he's been wrestling long enough, and he's been through life enough to where he should be able to talk to Jungle Boy. And if you can't get anything, over with him, if Jungle Boy or whatever is not successful to whatever you're saying, or anybody, if they're not accepting what you're saying, you should be old enough, and you should have enough experience enough to where you can say, okay, these guys don't like me, I don't like them either, but we still can work together. And he should be able to navigate that. So Ray, it's a bunch of crap, man. It's sad to sit here and watch this. It really is. And I don't know what in the world CM Punk is saying, that he hates that place. He can't stand it there. He hates working there. He's saying all this stuff. But hey, where else is he going to go? He's not going to go to WWE. WWE will never accept him. They ain't going to take him back, especially after seeing all this. They're not going to take him back at all. So the guy pretty much has no choice unless he goes. If he wants to continue to wrestle, he's going to wrestle on the independent scene, or he's going to wrestle in Impact, maybe go to NWA. But they will not be able to pay what Tony Khan's paying. Straight up, they're not going to be able to pay that. So I don't know what in the world CM Punk is going to do. CM Punk might as well go ahead and try to do his own thing. Pretty much leave wrestling alone, because this guy will be a nightmare to work for. Can you imagine this guy running his own promotion? It'd be a nightmare to run for, to work for. It's bad, man. AJ Skills, Harry, did you see Sasha Banks on AEW All In sitting in the crowd? Yes, I did. So I'm just wondering what in the world's going to happen there with Sasha Banks, man. If she's signing with them. But that's great. All right, guys, his bus just arrived. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back. Be right back, guys. I am here. Let me get him off the bus. All righty. Hey. How you doing? All right. Okay. All right. I'll meet you up at Northwest or something. Okay. All right. See you. Bye. All right, Hunter. Raise up a little bit. You on this? Sitting down on that. All right, guys. Yeah, I see some of you are still here. Yeah. Let me turn that off. But yeah. Excuse me, Ray. Just 1 second here. Yeah, Ray, that would be a nightmare if Punk was running his own wrestling organization, man. That would be running his own wrestling school would probably be a nightmare. I don't know. He'd probably get in a fight with one of the students, start getting fight with students and be out of business very quick. Yeah, AJ Scales, awesome. Do you think Sasha will sign with AEW? I'm not sure, AJ. I'm not sure. I know they'll pay her a good penny to do it, but I don't know if she wants to really fall into that trap of bad booking, man, because the booking is not going to be that great. I'm not going to say her booking was always great over in WWE, but I think it'd be better than what we see over in AEW. So that would be crazy if she signed with him, but hey, man, why not? If she wants to stay relevant in wrestling, it's not a bad choice. It really isn't. But guys, I will see you guys tonight, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll on. I was gonna go ahead and stay on for a little while longer, and talk to you guys while I'm driving. But I'll be trying to read what you guys are writing, and that's not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go, man. I will talk to you guys later on tonight for AEW, man. But you guys stay straight up until then, and Chris and I will see you guys tonight, man. Peace.